The moment I spotted tents dotting my south pasture, I knew trouble was brewing. Big, absurd trouble. You expect deer nibbling grass or stray cattle, not a neighborhood campout with barbecues, blaring radios, and a woman brandishing a clipboard like a war banner. At first, I figured lost hikers had wandered onto my ranch. Then I saw the signs, hand-scrawled banners flapping in the breeze, proclaiming HOA annual retreat, as if they'd booked a resort, not trespassed on a working ranch. Before I could park my ATV, a woman in a pink visor and oversized sunglasses charged me, hands on hips, radiating the fury of a monarch defending her realm. "You're not authorized here, sir," she barked. "This is a reserved HOA event." Stunned, I blinked, thinking it was a prank. I owned every inch of this land. Before I could speak, she was on her phone, shrieking about a dangerous intruder threatening peaceful families. Within seconds, she dialed 911, painting me as an armed thug instead of the rightful owner. That's when I knew this Saturday was about to go sideways. I stayed perched on my ATV, watching her strut like a general. Behind her, families unfolded chairs and set up kiddie pools by my hay barn. Kids poked sticks at my livestock fence, giggling as cows shied away. I'd poured years of sweat into this ranch, every post, pipe, and blade of grass. Seeing it treated like a public picnic stung, but I held my temper. One outburst, and I'd be the villain, despite my name on the deed. Karen, as I dubbed her, marched back, phone glued to her ear. "Help's coming!" she snapped like she'd saved the day. "Who gave you permission to camp here?" I asked, voice calm. She looked at me like I was an idiot. "The HOA board," she crowed, as if citing royalty. "We voted. This is common land now, for the neighborhood's benefit." I nearly laughed but swallowed it. Common land? This was private property, 3 miles from her subdivision, and the only thing common was that it belonged solely to me. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder. Karen smirked, clapping like she'd summoned a cavalry. "Leave before. You're arrested," she chirped. Her followers cheered, waving solo cups like it was a tailgate. I stayed put, arms crossed, squinting into the sun. Flee my own land? Not a chance. I was curious how far Karen would dig her own hole. 2 sheriff's trucks rolled up in a dust cloud, lights flashing. Deputies stepped out, hands on belts, eyeing the chaos. Tents, grills, kids chasing chickens. Karen sprinted over, pointing. At me. "Officers, he's harassing us. He's ruining our retreat." The lead deputy, grizzled with kind eyes, scanned the scene, then locked on me. His face broke into a grin. "Well, I'll be damned," he chuckled. "The king of the ranch himself. How's it hanging, buddy?" Karen's jaw dropped. "You know him," she gasped. "Known him 20 years, the deputy said, clapping. My back. "This is his land, ma'am. Has been since before your neighborhood existed," Karen stammered, then yanked papers from her fanny pack. "Our bylaws grant access to natural spaces." The deputy snorted. "HOA rules stop at your this property line. You can't annex a man's ranch for a getaway." Karen's face turned fire engine red. She opened her mouth, but the deputy cut her off. "Pack up and leave, now. No fines, no arrests. Stay, and it's criminal trespass. We'll haul you off." Karen trembled, torn between law and her need to win. Her followers whispered, some pulling tent stakes, sensing the tide turning. She jabbed a finger at me. "This isn't over. You'll hear from our lawyers." I smiled wide. "Hope so. I've got calls to make too." As Karen stormed off, I watched her flock scatter like spooked ants. But I knew this wasn't the end. People like her didn't quit. They doubled down. The dust hadn't settled when I saw Karen lingering by my oak tree, glaring, typing furiously on her phone. Most campers slunk away, muttering apologies, but she stood firm, plotting. I wasn't worried, yet. I had the law, the deed, and the truth. Still, I sensed a bigger fight looming. An hour later, Karen marched up my driveway with a posse clutching, clipboards and official papers. She stopped 20 feet away, feet planted, and raised a sheaf like a royal edict. "Under amended HOA bylaws, this is community green space," she bellowed. "You're violating common property and must vacate." Her followers nodded, eating up her nonsense. I raised an eyebrow, silent, letting her unravel. Karen shoved a paper at me, a blurry map with my land circled in Sharpie, labeled HOA territory. I bit back a laugh. "Ma'am," I said, slow and clear, "you can't claim private property because you want it. This is my land, always has been. Your HOA has no power here." Her face twisted, smug yet furious. "You'll regret underestimating us," she hissed. "We have legal resources." She spun, barking orders like a general. Planning an invasion. Time to act. I spent the afternoon documenting. Photos of broken fences, tire ruts, litter by the pond. I called my lawyer, a no-nonsense rancher's daughter eager for a case like this. She laughed, promising a cease and desist notice delivered to Karen by morning. As the sun dipped, painting the hills gold, shouts echoed from the pasture. I saddled my ATV and rode down. Karen's crew was back, erecting bigger tents, tables, even a stage with speakers and a generator. It wasn't camping. It was a festival. Karen, now in a glittery captain's hat, thrust a laminated HOA event coordinator badge at me. "We're not leaving," she smirked. "This is a sanctioned event. You're not required." I stared, awed by her delusion. "The sheriff told you this is private land," I said. "Trespassing's a crime. Want to escalate?" Her grin chilled me. "I've filed a restraining order against you. You're legally barred 100 yards from HOA members during events. Come closer and you're arrested. A restraining order. On my land, it was absurd but clever. A filed order, even bogus, could tie up deputies until a judge tossed it. Karen was weaponizing bureaucracy, baiting me to snap. I turned my ATV, riding back, mind racing. She thought she'd won a round, but she just admitted on record she knew this wasn't her land. Every tent, every footprint was now documented. Trespass. I parked, grabbed my phone, and started calling. If Karen wanted a fight, I'd bring the whole toolbox. This wasn't just about land. It was my life, and I'd defend it. Dawn broke, and I was up before the sun, the weight of the Awite day heavy on my shoulders. Karen's stunt with the restraining order gnawed at me. She tasted victory and would only get bolder. I pored over land deeds, surveys, and county codes, even my grandfather's original purchase records. Every document was a bullet in my arsenal. I needed them locked and loaded. Karen wouldn't quit, and neither would I. Sipping coffee on the porch, mist curling over the fields, I decided to shift gears. No more reacting. It was time to reclaim my land on my terms. I called the sheriff's office, laying out the saga. The deputy was sympathetic but cautious. Without new crimes or imminent danger, they needed a judge's order to act again. Fine by me. I had a plan, not violence, but a message so clear it'd hit like a sledgehammer. I spent hours rigging the ranch like a chessboard. Years back, I'd installed a sprinkler system for dry spells, nozzles hidden in the grass, timer controlled. A few tweaks, and I set it to manual, full blast, covering the south pasture where Karen's tents stood. Just water, but enough to make her retreat a soggy nightmare. I grinned, picturing the chaos. By noon, I cruised the property line on my ATV phone recording. Karen's crew was in high gear. Buffet tables groaned with food, a cotton candy machine whirred, kids tore up the grass, and adults lounged, blasting music. It was less retreat, more tacky fare. Karen, now sporting a glittery HOA queen, sash spotted me and screeched, "He's stalking us! Call the sheriff!" I stayed silent, filming, keeping my distance. No fuel for her lies. I'd be the calm one while she unraveled. With enough footage, I rode to the barn and hit the sprinkler. Switch, nozzles erupted, blasting icy well water across the pasture. Tents buckled, food flew, and screams echoed as campers slipped in mud. Karen stood drenched, clutching her sash, shouting orders no one heeded. Her flock fled, sliding and cursing. I watched from afar, arms crossed. It wasn't just satisfying, it was vital. They had to learn this land wasn't theirs. Karen, soaked and furious, slogged toward me. "This is assault," she shrieked. I pointed to a sign I'd nailed up. "Private property. Trespassers will be soaked." She switched tactics, live streaming, wailing about an evil land baron attacking HOA families. I filmed back, her lies piling up like evidence. A camper stormed past, muttering, "Told you this was stupid." Her army was cracking. By dusk, most had fled, trucks rumbling away. A few diehards lingered around a soggy table, looking like shipwreck survivors. Karen, red-eyed, stomped with her clipboard, muttering about lawsuits. I let her fester. Her options were dwindling. That night, my lawyer emailed formal trespass notices, packed with photos, timestamps, and neighbor statements. We'd file come morning. Karen's escalation was her undoing. Most would have apologized and left. She chose chaos. Monday, I drove to the courthouse, a folder brimming with evidence, deeds, photos, surveys. It felt like a weapon, legal and precise. My lawyer, sharp in her suit, met me at the clerk's office. We reviewed every page, then slid the packet to the clerk, who stamped it with a thud. Karen's crew faced criminal trespass, property damage, and nuisance charges. A civil suit for damages would follow. We filed to dissolve her restraining order, set for review that week. Her lies wouldn't hold. Outside, I felt lighter. Justice moved slow but sure. Karen was likely back at the ranch, plotting, unaware she'd be served court papers by day's end. No more Sharpie maps or fake badges, just law. Back home, her camp was a pitiful sight. Sagging tents, scattered trash, muddy ruts. She charged the fence, waving papers. "You're going to jail!" she screamed. "We've filed an emergency injunction!" I sat in my truck, dashcam rolling, letting her rant. 20 minutes later, a deputy arrived, lights flashing. Karen bounced, crowing. "Justice!" He walked past her to me. "Afternoon," he said, handing me court notifications for the restraining order and my countersuit. Then he turned to Karen. "Ma'am, you're served. Summons for trespass. Damage and nuisance. Miss Court, and it's a warrant." Her face froze, mouth flapping like a stranded fish. "I'm the victim," she choked. He shrugged. "Tell the judge." Her followers bolted, packing faster than spooked deer. Karen pleaded, but they ignored her. I watched, calm washing over me. This wasn't about gloating. It was consequences catching up. It was about justice, pure and unyielding. The next days swirled with filings, court prep, and strategy. My lawyer moved like a sharpshooter, anticipating Karen's every dodge. At the hearing, I wore crisp jeans and a button-down, a rancher defending his life's work. Karen strutted, in power suit straining, towing a suitcase of binders, waving to sparse reporters like a reality star. Her bravado was all show. The judge entered. We stood. First up, the restraining order. Karen's weary lawyer claimed I'd terrorized citizens accessing public land. My lawyer countered with deeds, surveys, footage, and statements proving Karen's trespass and defiance. The judge barely let her side finish, gavel crashing. "Restraining order dissolved," he snapped. Next, the trespass charges. Karen's claim that HOA bylaws trumped property law was so absurd, the judge rubbed his temples, visibly pained. My lawyer noted her HOA was miles away, with no jurisdiction. The judge looked ready to eject her. Karen was convicted of trespass, and nuisance, ordered to pay for damaged fences and cleanup, plus 100 hours of community service at the animal shelter. The kicker. Since her crew used my private roads without permission, the HOA now owed me monthly maintenance fees, indefinite. Checks from Karen's treasury. Her face purpled, a near faint. I walked into the sun, smiling. The land won, not through rage, but truth and patience. Karen thought she could rewrite rules. The law begged to differ. The ranch exhaled with me. Cows grazed, grass swayed, earth breathed. No tents, no shouts, no chaos. Justice unfolded quietly, steadily, leaving no escape. Karen's shelter service started fast. The director, a gruff cowboy, gave her the grimiest tasks: cleaning kennels, hauling feed, walking surly dogs in blazing heat. She tried. Quitting day one, tantrum in full swing. But he stood firm. Walk out and the judge hears it. She stayed, scowling, avoiding eyes. Her HOA crumbled. Neighbors mocked her openly. The board ousted her, banning future leadership roles. Her fall was swift, deserved. I saw her once at the grocery, hiding behind sunglasses and a cap, fleeing. When she spotted me, I didn't hide my grin. Monthly HOA checks funded fence repairs, regraded paths, and a steel and cedar gate with cameras and sensors. A sign screamed, "Private property, no trespassing, violators prosecuted." It sealed the ranch like armor, a satisfying click with every close. Weeks later, the county fair brought a gem. Amid the scarecrow contest, one stole the show. A HOA queen, in visor, sunglasses and sash, clutching a permit clipboard. A sign read, "Caution, may claim your land." The crowd roared, snapping photos, swapping Karen stories. It wasn't cruelty. It was community rejecting entitlement, valuing respect earned through persistence, not noise. Karen skipped the fair, reportedly fleeing to relatives, her house for sale. No one missed her. The town erased her like a bad. What a dream. One fall morning, I walked the south pasture, grass lush where tents once stood. Sprinklers hit again, ready if needed. At the oak tree, a carved plaque nestled in the branches. Respect the land. Respect yourself. No name, just truth. Lingered, breeze tugging my jacket. Anger could have ruled when Karen invaded, but patience won. Not because I was tougher, but because I knew the land doesn't bend to loudmouths. It holds for those who tend it, who fight with quiet strength. I nailed the plaque to a fence post. A sentinel like the gate. Some things aren't for taking, no matter how many fake permits you waive. As months passed, the ranch healed, and so did I. Calls and visits from neighbors, pies, eggs, handshakes, showed I wasn't alone in prizing. Respect and work. The gate stood firm, road smooth, cattle calm. Afternoons on the porch, sweet tea in hand, I watched fields glow under the sun. The world felt right. Karen thought she could plant her flag and rewrite history. The land disagreed, whispering through grass, fence creaks, hoofbeats. It said, "You don't belong." For once, the world listened. As stars pierced the dusk, I sat on the porch, dog at my side, owl hooting afar. The fight wasn't loud or fast, but it was worth every step. It wasn't just about land. It was about home, dignity, the right to stand firm where respect still matters.